Okay, picture this. You're a queen, right? You've traveled a long way to meet this incredibly powerful king, and he shows you a throne. But here's the crazy part. It looks exactly like your throne, the one you left back home. So is it yours? It sounds like a simple question, but your answer, well, it could reveal if you actually understand reality itself. This isn't just some old story, you know? It's one of the most profound tests you can imagine. And this is the exact moment at the heart of the whole mystery. We're talking about the Queen of Sheba, or Bilqīs. She's presented with this throne, a perfect double of her own. And listen to her answer. It's so careful, so precise. She says, it is as though it were the same. Think about that. Not a yes, not a no. That little bit of hesitation, that phrase, as though, that's everything. It's the whole key.
So it really makes you wonder, right? Was this just a clever game, spot the difference with a piece of furniture, or was something much, much bigger going on? I think we know the answer. This was a super advanced test of perception. It was designed to see if this queen could look past a transformed appearance and see the underlying truth.
All right, let's dive into this. We're looking at a queen's mysterious throne. This is the test, a showdown between a powerful queen and a transformed reality. So the story features Queen Bilqīs and, of course, the wise King Solomon. And in this incredible display of power, Solomon has her throne miraculously brought to him and then disguised. But why? The whole point was to test her, to see if she could look past the surface.
Okay, to really get this test, we have to change how we think about the throne. It is not just a fancy chair. In this system, the throne is a symbol for her entire state of authority. Think of it like the operating system of her kingdom, the very structure of her reality. So the real question being asked wasn't, is this your chair? It was, do you recognize your own reality, even when I've changed how it looks?
So for this whole test to make sense, you've got to know the two key components. First up is the book. The easiest way to think about it is like the source code of the universe. It's the underlying, unchangeable layer of pure truth. It's the ultimate blueprint that everything, and I mean everything, including this weird throne, gets measured against.
Okay, so if the book is the source code, then what's the pen? Well, the pen is the thing that writes the code, the command that actually makes a change. It's the force that modifies how things look on the surface, altering reality just enough to create the test that the queen is facing. It literally writes the challenge into existence. So, how does this all work? How is truth actually tested and confirmed? Well, there's a hidden mechanism here, a kind of code of recognition. And this code determines whether truth wins out or if illusion starts to spread. Let's break down the logic. This whole process is just fascinating when you lay it out. It all starts with the presentation. The pen changes how the throne looks, which kicks off the whole test. Then you get to recognition, and that's Bilqīs's big moment. It is as though it were the same. She's not just guessing, she's pattern matching very carefully. Now, step 3 is judgment, and this is where it gets critical. If her recognition is correct, truth starts to spread. But if she's wrong, illusion propagates. The whole system only reaches closure or stability once her perception finally syncs up with the reality in the book. And that's what leads her to the final step, self-awareness and submission to that higher truth.
And that really brings us to the core lesson here. This test was never about who owned the throne. It had nothing to do with possession. It was all about whether she could truly see it. In this system, true knowledge isn't about what you have. It's about how clearly you see. It's about discernment. Your ability to pick out the truth from a very, very convincing illusion.
Okay, so we've seen how Bilqīs found her way to the truth, but her path isn't the only one. There are actually two paths, gradual versus direct. To see the other side, let's compare the journey of Queen Bilqīs with another incredible woman, Queen Āsiya.
And wow, when you put them side by side, the difference is huge. On one hand, you have Bilqīs with her gradual recognition. She starts with what she sees on the surface. It seems like it, and she kind of needs some clarification to get to the truth. She aligns after the truth is revealed. But then you have Āsiya. Talk about direct recognition. She's living in the middle of this massive illusion of power, but she just bypasses it completely. Her focus goes straight to the source, praying for a house near you. She doesn't need to analyze the illusion. She achieves immediate alignment with the ultimate reality. This all raises a really important question, though. If reality's surface can be changed so easily for a test, how does the real truth not get corrupted over time? Well, the system has a way of protecting its true signal. It's a battle of rushed versus distortion.
And the perfect example of this protection mechanism is the sleepers of the cave. Think about what happened to them. They were sealed, basically isolated from all the external noise and distortion. Their sleep wasn't just rest, it was a way of preserving their core state, keeping that true signal perfectly clean. So when they finally awaken, they step back into the world carrying the original totally intact signal. It's like a time capsule for truth.
And that clean, protected, pure signal, it has a name. It's called rushed. Rushed is the signal of right guidance. It's invariant, meaning it doesn't change. It stays stable no matter what, because it's built on true action and clear knowledge. It's the truth that just persists, even when everything on the surface is chaotic. And that's the real game changer right there. Distortion, like what happened with the throne, only messes with surface perception. It's designed to test us. But rushed, that pure signal, it remains totally untouched, totally intact, because it exists at the deep level of the book, the source code of reality.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. The book, the pen, Rushta, these two different paths to truth. Now it's time to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Let's look at the final mapping of this entire system of reality.
But first, there's one more core pattern we need to see. It underpins everything. It's the Ibrāhīm pattern, and it's a universal loop. It works like this. First, a command initiates a trial. Think of the command to sacrifice his son. Second, you have the trial itself, this moment of unbelievable pressure and testing. But here's the crucial part. It always resolves into preservation. The trial ends with mercy, with stabilization, which actually reinforces the original truth. This isn't a one-off thing. It's a fundamental loop that repeats over and over. And here it is, the whole system mapped out. It's all connected. The throne, that's the transformed state, the recognition test. The book is the absolute unchanging truth. The pen is the tool that modifies appearances for that test. Then we have our two models. Bilqīs represents recognition through careful refinement, and Āsiya represents that direct, immediate alignment with the source. The sleepers, well, they're the mechanism for protecting the truth over time. And what are they protecting? They're protecting rushed, the pure signal that survives all distortion. So what's the bottom line? The system has clear rules. If you get it right, if you recognize the truth beneath the surface, you get stable authority. You align with reality. But if you're fooled by the surface, if you go for surface-level recognition, then illusion is what expands. And eventually, a correction will be forced.
You know, when you peel it all back, this ancient story is so much more than just a story. It's a framework for perception, for seeing the world. And that brings the final question right back to you. What are the altered thrones being presented in your life? What disguised realities are testing your perception every day? And the most important question of all is, are you seeing them for what they truly are?